Former President of India, late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, had said, competition is powered by knowledge, knowledge is powered by technology, and technology is powered by innovation. And here lies the key to RAAIF's objective.
Just like any other IAS officer, I am not exactly prepared to talk on this huge subject of artificial intelligence and stuff which goes into what is called the 21st century education. We have before us Dr. Shivakumar, hello sir, Mr. Lawrence, I just met him, Mr. Nathan, and a host of others who are here, I am Susan, some of the people know me here. Good morning to all of you. While at Krishnagiri, I did a big program called Back to School. We brought back around 10,000 out-of-school children. And today, even today, I can use the software to track every out-of-school child. It's a very interesting software. That's why I got that award, Best Collector Award. But the interesting thing that we did along with that was a host of other things which went into making education very interesting. One of the things was bring an NGO called Aid India. I don't know whether you know them. Mr. Balaji Sampath. They are ex-IIT products and went to US, made a lot of money, but came back and found that their concern is for our students. And they introduced what's called the Padippum Inikum and Ariviyal Anandam. That is teaching science, which is very interesting in a very interesting way, and teaching mathematics because many of the children don't know addition, multiplication, subtraction after many years of schooling. So I got around 10 lakh rupees from UNICEF, Mr. Job Secretary and others, to do this major, massive exhibition and kits for students. As Mr. Lawrence was telling, and he was telling me a very intriguing thing, which is his interest is not in the major towns and major cities. His interest is in teaching or speaking to students in the tier 2 and tier 3 locations. And let me tell you, that's exactly what I experienced when I met with these students and children. And many of those, the kids have around 35 experiments with very basic things, which is found on the road, whatever is available. They use things to teach Bernoulli's principle or Archimedes' principle. And when I interact with the students, I found they were saying, the collector was my theriyadu. One of the students was interacting, and he was just telling aloud, and everybody had a good laugh. Actually, that is the truth. These are students in the back of the beyond of nowhere. Krishnagiri is a really backward district. And these are really, poor children. And these are children who are experimenting with Bernoulli's principle and Archimedes' principle using these kits provided by Aid India. And I found that given Earth's circumstance, this basic difference between a child in this town, city of Chennai and a village in, let's say, Madagondapalli in Krishnagiri, is that the child does not have a circumstance like the child. So if we can provide that circumstance, that will be the greatest thing that we can do. So when I became MD Elcott later on, I introduced 3 smart classrooms in 3 villages, in 3 ministers' places. One was the Minister Thangam Thennarasu, he was the school education minister at that point of time, in his village. Then one was Mr. Raja, the Stuji fame, whatever, in his village in Nilgiris. And third was in my own minister, Mrs. Pungode, her village. And we converted a very bad, dilapidated structure into world-class classroom. Really world-class with the interactive whiteboard and the computer laptop at the back. You won't believe the pedagogical style change. Students were asking more questions to the teacher, and technology was so fascinating for this. I'm talking about children in the real backward districts, backward places. So this is what technology can do to our students. And generally the assumption is that if we give technology to advanced schools, they'll do well. They're already 99%. They might do well to 100%. But children who are at 50%, can we take them to 100%? This is the very interesting idea that technology can do to education. So my personal belief is that while the world is going ahead, India, if it has to catch up, we are trying now today to bring this academia industry together. And I was one of the persons who found that ICT Academy of Tamil Nadu, ICT, ACT. I was the founder member of that academy. Today is doing very well after 8 years, doing a lot of research and bringing in a lot of brands into India, as it were, and making students interact. But where is this interface happening? This interface is happening at college level, where by which time your STEM and everything is actually set your science, technology, this in mathematics is actually set. The creative thing has already been taken care of or not taken care of while in schooling. So my son was actually a third rank holder in Tamil Nadu from an university. He got 1185, but still I feel I was a better student because I was in a Kendriya Vidyalaya, where there was opportunity to explore, innovate, do all kinds of things, and your talents. If you're even if there's an exam tomorrow, there is co-curricular activities today. But I remember my son. He was a good fast bowler, was a good singer and all. Suddenly stopped doing everything and concentrating, regurgitating out exactly what the textbook says. And for 1 mark, he didn't use exact word, and he lost that 1 mark. So this is a stage at which we are, where we have stopped making children think creatively. Now, how does innovation happen? I really don't know. I do a lot of massive innovations in government. For example, if you come to Pumpuha, it's a completely online organization. I don't need to come to office. My staff need not come to office. All transactions can be done at home. Today we are using additive manufacturing, 3D printing and 3D designing for handicrafts. We already have a 3D printer. A design research development center has come up, where we are asking people to crowdsource technology, crowdsource designs from students, from children, anybody who can give us a design. We are using virtual reality. We'll be probably having the first virtual reality showroom in India, where you can actually put the gadget on, see all my 1 lakh products, pick it up, give haptic feedback, and buy it there itself. So I just got 2.2 crore sanction. So a lot of technology is happening. Billing is online. You take it. Accounting is online. Your attendance is online. You take it. Probably Pumbhar is the most connected organization in India today. But how does it happen? I don't know. I was never taught technology. I was never taught innovation. So whether innovation can be taught, I'm not sure. Because it may come as a flash. If there's a problem, there's a solution. Generally IAS officers give more problems than solutions. But some of us are, I don't know what, it's a God's gift or something, to come out with innovative solutions. But I'm sure this can be ingrained in the minds of children at a very, very young age. And today if governance is suffering, I was speaking to all of you have gone world class. Governance has not gone world class. Why we are not able to use technology heavily across? So I am a Prabhari for Virudhunagar district. A Prabhari, there are 2 bad districts which have been declared backward by Government of India. For totally of 115 districts, Virudhunagar and Ramnad. So I am a Prabhari for Virudhunagar district, and we had a meeting at Delhi last week where the Prime Minister also attended. This is called aspirational districts. So there are a lot of discussion on education, infrastructure, health, etc. But my question to the Niti Aayog chief, Amitabh Kant, was, why are we not talking about the core aspect of governance itself, where we still have physical files, where still people come all the way from 100 kilometers to meet the collector and get a response, etc. So these things are not changed in government also. So while we are talking about science, technology, mathematics, and statistics, linguistics, management, or economics as part of the artificial intelligence that will come up. While we are talking about what is called cloud, bitcoins, what's called the technology, blockchain, the the additive manufacturing, the 3D printing, the Internet of Things, many of these things which actually go into creating these products for our children. In government, we are not using many of these things. So this is something which I am very intrigued about, I am very worried about, because sitting on my, let's say I am Commissioner of Chennai Corporation, sitting on my table, I should be able to see whether the bins have been cleared, if at all there are bins. So if we have IoT enabled bins, then the bins can be actually monitored and tracked, and we can see whether those bins have been cleared, whether the bins have been cleared, at what time stamp it is there, whether it's been done on time, etc. Sitting here, we should be able to see what is the traffic movement, what are the alternate patterns of traffic that can be followed in the Traffic Commissioner's office. So all kinds of things are possible. We are doing here and there. A lot of technology we are introducing here and there, but unfortunately, it's not an ecosystem that is developed. So while at one level we are talking about making children aware about technology, at one level we are not really providing the ecosystem. So these are the 2 phases that I see and I'm very worried about. I personally feel that the next generation that's coming into government will be these children that you are introducing technology to. So these are the things that occupy my mind at this point of time. I just jotted down a few points. Let me see whether I covered that. Uh, Yeah, I was just thinking about this robot called Sophia, who's given citizenship in a country like Saudi Arabia, of all countries. So it's a big thing for artificial intelligence. And today, and I'm sitting at my flat, which is occupied by all policymakers of Tamil Nadu, IAS, IPS, IFS. And still in the morning, we find the guy comes and lifts this heavy slab to see whether the water level is there. Whereas if you have a small sensor, and we connect to a nice software which is already available, which can take off the shelf, it's possible. But we are not getting there. So that's something which worries me. So education itself is actually enabled by artificial intelligence. I'm told Mr. Chris is from Australia. He's an Australian citizen man. Recently I went to visit Australia. And in a university called Dykens University, they actually use artificial intelligence to tell children, to tell students solutions for whatever they ask. But it's very predictive answering that happens. But even in education, it's being used. So when I introduced this smart classroom in schools, the children were so absorbed into it because you could have great content. So suppose they want to show the heart, peel it layer by layer. Instead of actually dissecting the frog, we can actually show the layer by layer and reach to the heart and show the auricles and ventricles and everything using this technology. So science is going somewhere, and in our education system, unfortunately, the people who decide syllabus and curriculum are actually experts, subject matter experts. But I would say go further ahead, put visionaries in those fields, because subject matter experts can think only that much, whereas visionaries can see beyond. So I think in each subject matter group, let's say mathematics or physics or chemistry or whatever, we should have. That's why, when my son was studying, already 5G was talked about in the industry, whereas this textbook shows only 2G. Isn't it? So, is it not possible for industry to collaborate and say that we will design the syllabus for students? That's actually done in South Korea very beautifully. We studied that system, and Germany has been a pioneer in this. Anyways, let me thank you, ma'am, for this great opportunity to be with some of the luminaries here. I definitely want to thank. Please do visit Pumpuha. I'm ultimately a salesman, like last time I was telling. We have a fantastic showroom here. We have our own e-commerce site. We are going into different levels of technology, and we'll be very happy if we can patronize my artisans, as it were. We are putting every artisan on the web. Around 2 lakh web pages we are creating, so that you can buy straight from them without going through an intermediary. Basically, we are tired of middlemen, and possibly Pumbuha would like to be the biggest middleman in that. Anyways, I wish you the very best. I thank Chris and Madam Prema for inviting me, and hopefully we'll have a great interaction and discussion today. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.